you're about to see is a fictitious one, but the procedure is legally accurate. The characters are played by actors, but the jury is selected from members of the public. Today, in Fulchester Crown Court, Nadia Phillips is charged with malicious wounding and causing criminal damage to the property of Mrs. Alice Lovell.
You are Alice Lovell, and you live at 31A Genevieve Gardens.
Yes.
Now, who else lives there with you?
Well, my daughter, Sandy. She's 8 years old. And the man I live with, Bob Turner, and our baby. We're going to be married when my divorce comes through.
So you know the accused, Nadia Phillips?
I don't know her. I've met her once.
When was that?
Christmas Day, 1976.
Now, will you tell the court what happened on that occasion?
Yes, well, she was invited to Christmas lunch. She just got out the hospital, and Bob thought maybe she'd be depressed. They were engaged just before she got sick. And I think that, I think somewhere along the line she got the idea that it was just going to be her and Bobby. What I mean is, she was not pleased to see me. Anyway, Bobby had to go pick up Sandy, my daughter. She was spending Christmas Eve with her father. And, she came into the kitchen. She wanted a glass of water, something... Oh, yeah, she had to take a pill. She had a bunch of pills in her purse. And she started talking, and she got very upset, and I tried to calm her down, and she got a hold of this knife and sort of went for me. She butted me in the stomach.
Did you suffer any injury?
Yeah, I was bleeding. She must have caught me with the knife right about here when I was trying to get it away from her.
Did you call a doctor?
Well, no. I didn't want to scare Sandy, so I said it was an accident.
Did you tell the police?
No.
For the same reason?
Mm-hmm. And for her sake, too. Nadia's. I mean, I felt sorry for her. She just got out the hospital, and, with a history like that, it's very sad.
Yes, you're referring to the fact that she'd had a breakdown?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you see her again after that?
No, but she kept calling. All hours.
One moment. By calling, do you mean that she called at the house or that she telephoned?
She telephoned.
Mm-hmm. You recognized her voice?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I see. Yes. Thank you.
Will you tell us about the calls?
Well, she'd be very aggressive, sort of sneering. She'd make threats.
What sort of threats?
They were rather vague. I'd better let Bob go. I'd be sorry if I didn't. She'd make me pay. I can't remember exactly.
Well, did she ever make specific threats?
Yes, she did. She said she was going to come around to the studio and set fire to it, smash the place to bits,
Did you take these threats seriously?
Oh, you do and you don't. All I knew was that she'd been sick, and that maybe she was mad enough to do something stupid to get at me. She'd never really accepted it. They were through. Well, that's why she was sick.
Your Honor, I must object. The witness is clearly entering into conjecture based upon what she has heard other people say.
Yes, I think that is so. You must confine yourself to what you know from your own observations, Mrs. Lovell.
It wasn't just for my sake I was worried. I was scared to pieces she'd try and do something to Sandy. And then when she sent the fire brigade round to the studio in the middle of the night...
Your Honor, I do not believe that the witness has any proof that it was the accused that called the fire brigade.
Who else is going to call them?
Members of the jury, you will appreciate that the only part of what the witness has just said which has any weight is that the fire brigade arrived at her house in the middle of the night. She is not in a position to say who gave that false alarm. But, of course, when you've heard all the evidence, you can form your own conclusions. Yes, Mr. Sherman.
Mrs. Lovell, I believe you gave birth to a child on the 9th of July last year.
Yes.
So that in April of last year, you were 6 or 7 months pregnant.
Yeah, that wasn't very good either. I was afraid what would happen if she found out about the baby, and...
The witness's fears are not evidence of anything.
No. Please try to keep your witness to the facts, Mr. Sherman.
Your Honor. So the position in April last year was this, was it, Mrs. Lovell? You were living with the man who had at one time been engaged to the accused. You and he were planning to marry. You were expecting his child, whereas the accused had not found someone else, and instead of putting the past behind her, was in the habit of making telephone calls and uttering threats.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, where were you on April the 21st of last year?
Well, I had to go up to London that day. I had an exhibition coming up. I'm a painter. And when I got back to the studio, I found that it had been broken into, and Really messed up.
Exhibit 1, 2, and 3, please. Can you identify these photographs for us, please?
Yeah, well, these must have been taken that afternoon. It's even worse. It wasn't as bad as that when I arrived.
Is that a photograph of your studio?
Yep. After the deluge.
May she be shown Exhibit 4, please? Is this one of your paintings? Oh, this one has been slashed, clearly. Now, who does this portrait depict?
It's Bobby. It was.
A portrait like that must represent a good many hours of difficult and painstaking labor.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of a price would such a painting be expected to fetch
no,
on the...
really. It isn't like that at all. I can't even begin to think of it like that. It's just that this has got to be put an end to. That's all, finally. Somebody's got to stop her, for her own good, just as much as anything else.
Yes, now, Mrs. Lovell, it is for the jury to decide whether the accused did these things. Your assertion that she is responsible is not helpful. Indeed, it is exactly the opposite. Please stick to what you have seen yourself. Yes, Mr. Sherman.
Had anything been taken from the flat?
No, nothing.
So what had taken place was apparently pure destruction for destruction's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mrs. Lovell. Will you wait there?
Mrs. Lovell, I understand you were facing quite a difficult day, weren't you, that Christmas day? Making lunch for 5 people, and not just an ordinary lunch, Christmas lunch.
Cooking doesn't bother me. I like it.
Yes, but it was out of the ordinary in other ways, too, wasn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, look who was coming. If I understand you, the 5 people were yourself, your daughter, naturally, Mr. Turner, the man you live with.
We're going to be married when my divorce comes through.
Quite. And you mentioned John. Is that your present husband?
Yes.
He was a frequent visitor, was he? The 3 of you got on well. I know that does happen.
Oh, he used to come by to take Sandy out, Sundays mostly.
Does he come for meals?
No, not usually.
So it was out of the ordinary for him to be coming to lunch?
Well, no, it was for Sandy's sake I invited him, so her father should be there. I remember what it was like when my folks broke up.
And what about Mr. Turner and your husband? How did they get on?
So.
Did your marriage break up because of Mr. Turner?
It was over. It broke up.
I see. Is your husband a jealous man, Mrs. Lovell?
About average.
Did you quarrel over Turner?
No.
What about Sandy? Was she very upset when the marriage broke up?
Well, naturally she didn't like it.
How did she express her dislike?
Well, she got a bit unhappy at times, a bit moody. She wouldn't do her homework.
Moody, what do you mean? Did she break things, have tantrums? What did
No,
she
she
do?
got hostile, but it's quite normal.
Hostile towards whom?
Towards me, towards John. She broke a little pottery doll he gave her once that she really loved, but, well, you know, in fact, she adores him.
And what about Mr. Turner?
She likes Bob okay.
But you weren't afraid of how she might behave with both your husband and Mr. Turner present?
No.
Even so, quite a group. And Christmas lunch for 5 into the bargain. And you were no doubt anxious for it all to go smoothly for Sandy's sake.
Well, I didn't feel any anxiety about it.
I see. You say that when she turned up, Miss Phillips didn't seem very pleased to see you.
No, I didn't think so.
Were you pleased to see her?
I tried to make her feel welcome.
But it was Mr. Turner who asked her.
So?
Would you have done?
Well, if I'm honest, no.
Why not?
Well, isn't it obvious? Of course I knew it would be tricky. I knew she'd been sick.
By sick, you mean, do you not, that she had had a nervous breakdown?
It was more than a nervous breakdown. She freaked out.
Oh, did that make you nervous about meeting her?
Oh, God. Honestly. I've known scats of people have breakdowns. Some of them, you know.
But this was a bit more than a breakdown, wasn't it?
Yes, one moment. What do you mean by freaked out, Mrs. Lovell?
Oh, it means to go berserk.
Mrs. Lovell is, I think, referring to an occasion immediately before Miss Phillips' breakdown when she did physically attack Mr. Turner, but that was before she entered hospital and underwent treatment.
Is that what you were referring to, Mrs. Lovell?
Yes.
I see, yes.
I should like to stress, Your Honour, that the charge for which my client stands here indicted today is one which is alleged to have taken place after her stay in hospital. She does not deny that there was one single episode of violence before she had treatment.
Yes, yes.
You knew of this episode, of course, Mrs. Lovell.
Yes, I did.
And I suppose it must have crossed your mind that some such thing might happen again.
No, not really.
Really?
Well, yeah, if you put it like that, it may have crossed my mind.
I suggest that it must have done, Mrs. Lovell, because that would certainly explain why it was that you misread the subsequent action of my client insofar as to imagine she was trying to attack you. So that, in fact, you actually started the struggle, the so-called assault for which my client is charged.
You weren't there.
No, but my client was. And her account, as we shall hear, is very different from yours.
Look, she attacked me all right. I have a very vivid imagination, but it's not that vivid.
All right, then. Let's have a look at what you say happened. Miss Phillips came into the kitchen for a glass of water, and so on. You say she got hold of this knife and sort of went for me.
That's right.
But surely it wasn't quite as simple as that. In fact, you gave the knife to my client, did you not?
Yeah, for the Brussels sprouts.
So that you did not suddenly, deliberately grab hold of this knife, as you suggest, in order to attack you. You gave it to her.
Well, I thought it would be a good idea to give her something to do.
Sort of occupational therapy.
Well, she was very upset. She said that she wouldn't have come if she'd known that I'd be there. So I told her not to be so silly. I sat her down at a table. I gave her something to do. And I tried to make her feel welcome, talking to her, and she just jumps up with a knife.
But she didn't just jump up, did she? Did not she get up and say that she wanted to go home?
Well, she really wasn't very coherent at the time. She just kept saying over and over to let her out and nobody was going to make her stay. But she had to stay. She had to wait for Bob to get back. I couldn't just let her walk out in the street. She was crazy.
And you tried to stop her, didn't you?
Well, naturally. But she's very strong.
You see, Mrs. Lovell, my client will say that she did not grab hold of a knife in order to attack you, that she was scarcely aware of having the knife at all. She got up to go, and you stood in her way, blocking her exit, grabbing hold of her by the wrists. In fact, as it seemed to her, you attacked her.
That is nonsense.
Yes, it is nonsense, of course, Mrs. Lovell. Just as it is nonsense for you to think she attacked you. What I suggest is that you were far more afraid than you admit, more than you possibly knew yourself, that Miss Phillips would become violent. And that when she got up to go, you immediately imagined she was going to attack you. In fact, you were simply two people under great strain, overreacting to peculiarly tense and difficult circumstances.
I don't think so.
Well, naturally, I don't expect you to agree, Mrs. Lovell. What I am suggesting is that you are not perhaps always the best, the most objective judge of your own state of mind, let alone that of others. When Miss Phillips had gone, did you telephone the police?
No.
But if what you have told us today is true, Miss Phillips was a positive danger,
Yeah, well,
was
I
she
had
not?
to wait for Bob to get back, tell him.
And did you tell him?
Yes.
And did you then discuss with him whether you should go to the police?
Yeah, I decided not to make too much of it. I knew he'd be guilty, or he'd feel guilty. And I didn't want Sandy scared, so I played it down as much as I could.
And when you played the story down, weren't you far closer to the truth of what had happened? Which was that you had never been attacked, that you had initiated a struggle by standing in the kitchen door to block Miss Phillips' exit, and that when you had had time to calm down, you realized this, and that was why you were not too keen to involve the police, and that you therefore told a version of the story which drew no blame, even some sympathy, perhaps, to yourself.
Look, what am I supposed to say?
After that Christmas Day, you didn't see Miss Phillips again.
No.
But there were telephone calls.
Yes.
But these calls became less frequent as time went on.
Yes, maybe.
There were quite a few during January and February, but there were very few calls in March, 2 or 3 at most. Isn't that right?
I don't remember.
And in April?
I don't know.
Well, in fact, there were none at all during April, which is why perhaps you cannot remember, Mrs. Lovell. Now, on April the 21st, you found that a lot of your paintings had been spoiled.
Destroyed.
And these which had suffered worst were the family portraits of you with Mr. Turner and your daughter, various combinations.
That's right, and that's how I knew it was her.
Mrs. Lovell, I have warned you already to refrain from this type of comment.
And are there any other portraits still in your studio which escaped the worst?
Yes, there are some. But they're still wrecked. Junk.
What sort of subject are they?
Commissions, mostly.
Were there any other family portraits, individual ones of your husband, for example, Mr. Lovell, any of him?
Yeah, there's some of John.
And were they slashed or ripped?
No.
I see. Thank you. When you returned and found what had happened, what was your reaction?
If you spent 2 years working on a project and somebody just comes and smashes it up in half an hour, you feel pretty sick.
And like Mr. Turner, your immediate thought was that Miss Phillips had done it?
Yes, of course.
How many other people have access to your flat when you're not there?
How do you mean?
Well, was 31A Genevieve Gardens your address while you were still living with your husband?
Yes.
Does he still have a key?
Well, he may have, but he never uses it. Anyhow, if you're trying to say that John would do a senseless thing like that, you're crazy. Why would he?
Well, it's difficult to say why anyone would do anything senseless, Mrs. Lovell. But you immediately assumed it was Miss Phillips because you assumed that she had a strong enough motive.
Well, why not? Who else hated me that much?
What about Mr. Turner?
What on earth do you mean?
Who else hated you? Or who else hated Mr. Turner? It's your work, but it's his portrait that seems to have fared the worst. Can you think of anyone? You see, Mrs. Lovell, if we're looking for motives, I suggest that your husband, or your daughter even, had both of them motives just as strong as those you attribute to Miss Phillips. No further questions.
Your Honor? No, thank you, Mrs. Lovell. I call Robert Turner.
Call Robert Turner.
What is your relationship with the accused?
We used to be engaged to each other.
And not anymore?
No.
No. And you've known the accused for some time?
Yes?
How long?
About 3.5 years.
How long were you engaged?
About a year.
And how long ago was this? When did the engagement end?
About 2 years ago.
Spring of '76.
Yes.
And during the period of your engagement, did you cohabit with the accused?
No.
And why was that?
Well, you don't have to.
Purely platonic relationship.
No.
You were lovers then?
No.
Well, was there any reason for this? Before you met the accused, you were living with someone?
Yes.
And you're living with someone now?
What's that got to do with it?
Mr. Turner, you must understand that I only ask you certain questions because I consider that the court needs to know about your relationship with the accused and why it ended.
Yes, just a moment. Mr. Turner, we are here to establish whether a person here charged with committing a serious crime has committed that crime or not. Now, if you know anything which can throw light on the matters before us, it is your duty to relate it. You are under oath to tell the truth, and to tell the whole truth, not to keep back anything because it doesn't suit you, whatever your motives may be. Now then, are you going to cooperate and not waste the time of the court?
Yes, sir.
Very well. Please do so. Carry on, Mr. Shermer.
Your Honor. Mr. Turner, if it had been possible, would you have preferred to have lived with the defendant as man and wife without waiting to be married?
Yes, of course, but Nadia was frightened about
that side.
About sleeping together.
Yes, sir. Can you tell?
She'd had a bad experience when she was still a kid, and she didn't... Oh, she was still very nervous and frightened, understandably. So we decided to wait.
You decided?
Yes, until we got married.
And you respected her wishes?
Yes.
Because of your feelings for her?
Yes, of course.
And what were your feelings for her? Well, were you very much in love with her? Were you fond of her? Did you feel protective towards her?
Yes.
And perhaps you still feel protective towards her. And how did your engagement come to be broken off?
Well, I broke it off.
And why did you do that? Well, what led to your decision to break the engagement? Did you have misgivings about it?
Yes. Well, not misgivings, not about her anyway, more about myself. I thought maybe she was too dependent on me in a rather unhealthy way. And I began to wonder if, if we got married and then found that it didn't work out, I wondered if I could take it.
What did you do?
The fairest thing I thought was at least to give it a try, but before we actually got married. We'd got a flat we were moving into and it was nearly ready.
This was how long before the wedding?
A month before. I suggested that we move in early, that's all. And Nadia agreed, said it was okay. And then when we, that night we... Look, she had a hemorrhage to do with what happened earlier.
Mr. Turner, what exactly do you mean? What happened earlier?
She was raped by some man when she was only a kid.
I see. Yes.
Did she have to go into hospital after this hemorrhage?
Yes, they took her off to hospital. They said she was going to be all right, but they kept her in for a few days. And then I realized that I just couldn't go through with it, that's all. In fact, I knew I couldn't. I should have got in touch with her. I wrote to her, I wrote her a note. I pretended nothing was happening, and then I went off to stay with some friends. I should have gone to see her, but somehow once I hadn't done it, I couldn't.
And did you?
Yes, in the end, I went round to the flat the day before the wedding would have been, and she was there. She was just sitting there. I think she thought that I'd come to say everything was going to be okay. And she looked terrible. I said no, that it wasn't any good. And she was crying. Well, we were both sort of crying, actually. Anyway, I got up to leave, and suddenly she screamed at me, "Don't do that," and pushed me back into the chair. And then she carried on screaming at me, and as I was trying to get up again, she pushed me again. And then she grabbed a bottle of champagne from the table and hit me over the head with it. In fact, she couldn't have reached me if I'd been standing up.
How badly were you hurt as a result?
I had to have a few stitches. There was no fracture or anything. Slight concussion. I was in hospital for a few days.
And what happened to Miss Phillips?
Well, when I got out, I found that she'd gone back into hospital again, and she'd had a complete breakdown.
How long was the accused in hospital?
About 9 or 10 months. First at the hospital, then she was moved to another place out near Barham, a sort of convalescent home.
Did you visit her there?
Yes, at the hospital. I couldn't get out to Barham as easily. I didn't have a car then.
And was she pleased to see you?
At first, yes.
But that changed.
Yes, well, I met someone else. I met Alice Lovell, and we started living together. And when Nadia found out, she was very upset.
Did she appear to be jealous of Mrs. Lovell?
I think that was probably it, yes.
And when the accused found out there was someone else, what did she do?
She broke down. I mean, she started telling me she didn't want to see me again, but she didn't mean it.
Did you see her again?
Yes, when she came out. I was still writing to her, and when she came out, she wrote to say she was better.
What had happened?
When I came back just before lunch.
What sort of state was Mrs. Lovell in?
Well, she was pretty shaken up, and she had quite a bad cut on her arm. Nadia had gone for her with a knife. I thought she was supposed to be better, otherwise I wouldn't have asked her.
Your Honor.
Yes, yes. Mr. Lovell, what you thought cannot be part of your evidence.
Excuse me, Turner.
What?
My name is Turner.
Turner. Oh, yes, of course, Mr. Turner. Yes, I'm so sorry. Now, you must tell us what you know, Mr. Turner, not what you think.
Did you see the accused after Christmas Day?
Yes, I saw her later the same day.
What happened?
Nothing happened. She was very hostile, said a lot of things about Alice and about me. She's probably right. And I told her perhaps it would be better for us not to see each other anymore, even as friends.
Did she accept that?
She seemed to at the time, but how can one tell?
Did you see her again?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I got in touch with her. She'd taken to making these telephone calls, and I thought if I saw her, I could get her to stop. She even called the fire brigade out one night.
Your Honour.
Yes. Mr. Turner, did you ask Miss Phillips whether it was she who called the fire brigade?
In a way, yes, I did. I told her off about it.
Oh? What did she say?
She said that she didn't know what I was talking about, but she was lying.
Members of the jury, if she did not freely admit to calling out the fire brigade, this evidence must be disregarded.
Now, as far as you know, did the accused know whether Mrs. Lovell was pregnant?
No, not as far as I know. I didn't want her to know if I could help it.
Did you know whether Miss Phillips was able to have children, Mr. Turner?
Yes. Well, she couldn't. She told me that the doctors had said that she couldn't. I think that was one of the reasons why she thought I didn't want to...
Yes. So for all those reasons, you decided to have a meeting with the accused. Now, will you tell the court about that meeting?
Well, nothing really happened. There isn't anything to tell. I just tried to explain to Nadia that I was very fond of her, that I am very fond of her, and that I would do anything I could to make things all right for her again.
How did she react?
Not at all, really. I mean, that was what was so odd. She hardly seemed to listen, as if she couldn't care less. After a while, I had to go. I had to pick up Sandy from school, and I said that I'd run her to the bus stop. I was rather late, otherwise I'd have taken her back to her flat.
Did you drop her at the bus stop?
Yes.
Miss Turner, how far is the bus stop from your house?
It's only a few minutes. She could have walked it quite easily, in fact.
How long were you away at school?
Well, I was rather late picking up Sandy, and she'd already gone. And sometimes if I'm late, she walks back, or she gets a lift with one of the other girls. I also had to stop on the way back to get something for supper.
So roughly how long were you away?
45 minutes. It was just on 4:05 when I got back. The radio was on.
There's plenty of time, then, for the accused to return and inflict the damage that you found.
Yes.
Now, before you left, had you locked up the flat?
I'd pulled the garden doors to, but I hadn't locked them. I wasn't going to be very long.
Was the accused present when you did that?
Yes, she must have seen. Certainly, she could have done very easily.
And when you finally returned, what did you find?
That the place has been turned upside down. I mean, it was quite incredible. I thought at first it was burglars.
But you changed your mind?
Yes.
Why?
Well, when I'd had time to look around, I realized that nothing had been taken. I told the inspector. It was just an incredible amount of mess, and the pictures had been slashed.
What sort of mess?
Well, to start with, there were feathers all over the place, sticking to everything. We had one of those big tubs of honey you can get, sort of 7-pound jars, and it had been emptied practically over everything. It was all over the bed, which is up on a sort of platform with some steps up. And she'd slashed open this quilt.
Mr. Turner, did you see the defendant slash the quilt?
No.
Then you must not refer to the defendant in this way. Eh?
What about the pictures?
Yes, well, they were the worst. I mean, the other you could do something about. But she... Whoever, I don't know. The paintings were completely destroyed. They were ruined.
Mr. Turner, during your talks with the accused earlier that afternoon, did you mention Mrs. Lovell's pregnancy?
No.
Not even incidentally, just in passing?
No.
Or was there anything lying about the flat that might have indicated that a baby was expected?
No.
One final question, Mr. Turner. If your first thought had not been that the flat had been burgled, would you have called the police?
No.
Why not?
I'd have tried to deal with it myself. I'm not sure that any of this is going to help.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Turner, you say when you recovered from your couple of days in hospital, what were your feelings towards Miss Phillips? I mean, after all, she did hit you pretty hard with that bottle. Were you angry? Did you blame her?
How could I blame her? I mean, I got what was coming to me. I treated her very badly. In a way, I was very glad.
You felt very guilty about her.
Yes, I did.
So you went to see her often in hospital.
As often as I could. She hasn't any family.
You felt it was your responsibility.
I suppose so.
You say that when she found out about Alice Lovell, she was very upset.
Yes.
How did she find out? Did you tell her?
Yes.
I see. You knew, of course, that this might upset her.
Well, yes, I did. I mean, I knew she was very precarious. But I thought she was still hoping that we'd get back together again. I tried not to let her think that, but I think that she did. I didn't want her to build up any more false hopes. I'd already done that before, over the marriage.
So, in a sense, you were being cruel only to be kind.
I suppose so.
And Miss Phillips then told you that she didn't want to see you again.
Yes.
But you say she didn't mean it. Why didn't you believe her? Did you think she was still in love with you?
Well, I don't know about in love.
Still very attached to you, then?
More dependent, I would say.
But you still complied with her expressed wish not to see you.
Yes, I thought it would be easier for her.
A clean break.
Yes.
Then you wrote to her, didn't you?
Yes.
In spite of her wishes.
Well, you know, it isn't that...
Not quite a clean break, then.
Well, what do you want? She hasn't many friends. We used to see mostly my friends.
You felt very guilty about that also.
In a way.
It's a very powerful thing, guilt. It seems you visited Miss Phillips in hospital out of guilt, and then upset her rather a lot out of guilt because you felt you had to tell her the truth about another woman, and then stopped seeing her for her own good because she was so upset by what you had told her, and then kept in touch with her in case she should feel deserted. Is that right?
In a way.
You have a very strongly developed moral sense, Mr. Turner. But wouldn't you agree that it makes you behave sometimes in a rather confused and possibly confusing way?
Your Honor, I fail to see what my learned friend is attempting to prove with this line of questioning. What does Mr. Turner's moral sense have to do with establishing whether or not the accused assaulted Mrs. Lovell and laid waste her studio?
With respect, Your Honor, a great deal has been made by the prosecution of these unsolicited telephone calls made by my client. I am merely pointing out that Mr. Turner also frequently contacted Miss Phillips against her expressed wishes. He may have done it from the best of motives, but he would not leave her alone.
Yes, yes. Well, carry on, Miss Kelman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, then, let us look at the first charge, Mr. Turner, of assault on Mrs. Lovell. When you heard that Miss Phillips was coming out of hospital, you had the idea of inviting her to Christmas lunch.
Yes.
You telephoned her.
Yes.
And what did she say? Did she seem pleased?
I think so, yes.
Really? Are you sure?
Well, yes, she sounded quite pleased.
Didn't she say that it was a bit too soon, that she was nervous of meeting people when she was just out of hospital?
But why should she be nervous? I mean, she knew there was only going to be just us.
Just us. That was the phrase you used in fact, wasn't it?
Possibly.
I think it was, Mr. Turner. And it was then that Miss Phillips sounded pleased when you told her it was going to be just us. Just you and her, in fact, and not strangers.
And obviously I meant Alice and Sandy as well.
It may have been obvious to you, Mr. Turner, but it was not obvious to Miss Phillips. And on Christmas Day, after Mrs. Lovell told you that Miss Phillips had attacked her, you went and found Miss Phillips because you were worried about her.
That's right.
And she told you what had happened too.
Yes.
And was her account the same as Mrs. Lovell's?
No, not really.
Not really. Didn't she tell you that it was Mrs. Lovell who tried to stop her from leaving? That it was Mrs. Lovell who grabbed hold of her by the wrists and not the other way round?
Yes, I think she did say something like that.
Two totally conflicting stories. It must have been hard to know whom to believe.
Why should Alice pretend that Nadia had attacked her?
I'm not suggesting that Mrs. Lovell was pretending, Mr. Turner, but that both versions of what happened were true. Miss Phillips was trying to leave, and Mrs. Lovell imagined she was being attacked.
Oh, I see.
That is quite possible, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think it's very likely.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, the jury will be able to be more objective about that than perhaps you can be, Mr. Turner. Now, let us turn to April the 21st and the events leading up to that date. You went to see Miss Phillips. Why was that?
Because she telephoned to say she'd found some books of mine to see if I wanted them back.
You then suggested that you should meet, is that right?
Yes.
When she came to the studio, what was she wearing? Can you remember?
I don't remember.
Try and remember. Was she wearing a skirt, trousers? Was she wearing a coat?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I see. You say that during your meeting, Miss Phillips seemed perfectly calm.
Yes, a bit too calm.
Too calm. So this meeting was unlike the previous meeting, which had ended with her hitting you with a champagne bottle. She was not calm then.
No.
And it was not like the meeting at her flat when you found her on Christmas Day. She was not calm then.
No.
But on this day, she was calm.
Yes, it was a bit like the lull before the storm.
Oh, is that what you thought at the time? Or did it only occur to you afterwards when you came home and found that the studio had been wrecked?
I don't know.
But it didn't occur to you that Miss Phillips' state of mind was partly chemical because she was under medical supervision and taking a course of tranquilizers? Or that she was quite simply bored by these meetings you kept arranging?
That I kept arranging?
After your meeting, when you dropped her at the bus stop, there was still no sign of agitation.
No.
But hadn't that meeting been to tell her that you didn't want to have anything more to do with her?
Yes?
And yet she still showed no sign of emotion, even when leaving you for what might have been the last time.
No.
You see, Mr. Turner, your description of my client's behavior tallies very well with her account of what happened and how she felt about it. She has told me that she was quite simply bored and, in fact, very relieved to get away from your lecturing. And yet, when you returned home and found the damage that had been done, you immediately assumed that with scarcely any provocation, unless you count boredom as provocation, that she had suddenly gone berserk.
Yes, well, I really don't see who else could have done it.
But you didn't see who actually did do it, Mr. Turner, did you? You went to pick up Mrs. Lovell's daughter, Sandy, but she'd already left. That's rather odd, isn't it?
Not really, no.
Did you get on well with Sandy?
Yes, very well.
You like her?
Yes, of course. I mean, she's only 8.
And she likes you, of course.
I think so. She seems to. Reg.
She doesn't feel you've usurped her father's place.
No, I mean, she still sees him quite a lot.
I see. So, in fact, she got back to the studio before you did.
Yes.
And yet it was you and not she who saw the studio first.
Yes.
How is that? What had happened to Sandy, meanwhile?
She'd gone upstairs to see Mrs. Farrow, as she often does. Sandy isn't allowed a key. She loses them.
So, as far as you know, you were the first person on the scene.
Yes.
Mr. Turner, you say that had you not at first thought it was burglars, you would not have called the police. In the event, weren't you rather relieved that you had?
I don't understand.
Wasn't it rather a relief to be rid of this crushing responsibility? The responsibility to do something about someone whom you yourself admit you had gravely wronged. With all the complications winding round you, to hand that responsibility over to the police must have been a huge relief.
Are you trying to say I deliberately blamed Nadia to get her out of the way?
Oh, no, I'm not suggesting that at all, Mr. Turner. I don't think you are capable of making that sort of calculation. What I do suggest is that you wrongly believed Miss Phillips was the culprit, because that was the solution that suited you best. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. I call Daphne Farrow.
Daphne Farrow.
You are Mrs. Daphne Farrow, and you live at 31B, Genevieve Gardens, Fulchester.
Yes, that's right.
And how long have you known Alice Lovell?
Oh, since they moved in, before Sandy was born, her daughter. That's when she and John were together. He moved out about 2 years ago, and Mr. Turner came.
And do you recognise the defendant? That's the person sitting over here.
Yes, I do.
Yes. How do you know her?
Well, she's a friend of Mr. Turner's. I found her at the house one day waiting when I got back from shopping. She wanted to see him, but there was no one in downstairs, so I said she could come up and wait with me if she liked, and I gave her a cup of tea. I didn't realise at first who she was. Well, she seemed quite a quiet little thing, But then she started talking about the hospital, and I realised who she was.
What did you realise?
Well, that she was the one who went for Alice that Christmas.
And when did this meeting with the accused take place?
Oh, quite early on. Not long after Christmas. About January, I'd say.
And did you see her again?
Yes, I did, on and off. But not to speak to. She never came in the gate. But I saw her in the street now and then.
Can you see the street from your window?
Well, I don't spend my time glued to the window, if that's what you mean. But I sometimes keep a lookout for Sandy, just keeping an eye open.
Yes, and sometimes you saw the accused?
Yes, quite a lot of times. She'd just hang around, and then sometimes she'd sit on the wall opposite. Or she'd sit there until after dark sometimes. You can see quite well. They'd put those awful orange lights there. And then I'd look again later, and she'd be gone.
Did you tell Mrs. Lovell or Mr. Turner when you saw her?
Oh, yes. I thought it best seeing after what had happened.
Were you at home on April the 21st of last year?
That's the day they had the burglary.
Yes.
Yes, I was.
Yes, and did you see the accused on that day?
Well, I didn't see her arrive, but when I heard the car start, and when I looked out, she was sitting beside Mr. Turner.
Do you remember what time that was?
Yes, it was after 3 because afternoon theatre had started.
And did you see her again that day?
Yes, I did. I was surprised because it wasn't long after I'd seen her drive off with Mr. Turner, and there she was walking past the house again.
And you're quite sure that it was her?
Oh, yes, quite sure.
Can you say what time this was?
Yes, because Jack the Manager had just come on, and he always starts at 10 to 4. Then there's a break for the 4 o'clock news, and he comes back again with another guest at 5 past. So it must have been about 10 to 4 when she walked past.
Did you see where she went?
No, I didn't, because Sandy rang the bell just then. She comes up to me if there's no one in the flat downstairs.
So the accused might have entered the house while you were letting Sandy in?
Oh, yes, I suppose she might. Or she might have been just leaving when I saw her that second time come to that.
Yes. In any case, you saw her at or near the house once just after 3 and once just before 4.
Yes,
that's just before and probably just after the flat was broken into, in fact, because Mr. Turner came back at 5 past 4.
Yes. Oh, poor things. You never saw such thing in your life. Shocking.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. If you'll just wait there, my learned friends may wish to ask you some more questions.
Mrs. Farrell, do you go out to work?
Oh, I'm an OAB.
So you spend quite a lot of time at home in Genevieve Garden?
Yes, I do.
Did the Lovells get a lot of callers?
Oh, yes, they did a lot of entertaining, and then Mrs. Lovell had her people who came to sit for her. But, oh, of course, if they were expected, they sometimes went straight round to the back door.
How do you get to the back door? Is there a side door?
Yes, through the back garden.
Isn't that kept locked?
Well, it ought to be, but it keeps getting broken. It's where the dustbins are.
So any friend, or former friend, or acquaintance even, might very easily drop in on the off chance without going to the front door at all. Anyone, really.
Oh, yes, they're very informal, very friendly and thoughtful, very good neighbours.
Were they ever noisy neighbours?
Well, they never bothered me.
Did they have rows, for instance? Did Mrs. Lovell confide in you?
Well, if she had confided in me, I wouldn't tell you, would I?
Oh, Mrs. Farrow, you must answer the question. You are under oath.
Sorry.
Did you hear them quarrelling sometimes?
Well, yes, I did, if you must know.
Were they violent quarrels?
Oh, no, he's not like that.
But you heard voices raised?
No, just once or twice.
What else did you hear?
Well, there was a window broken that time. Oh, she was ever so upset about it. He went out through the front door, but she came up to me in a terrible state. Shaking she was. Well, she'd thrown a marble statue at him, only a little one, but it went straight through into the garden, and it's there still in the middle of the rose bed. They're going to leave it there for a memorial.
And were there any other times?
Well, No, not like that. Because it was Sandy I was sorry for, if you want to know the truth. Well, you can't expect a little girl to understand, can you?
Was she very unhappy at the separation?
Well, she didn't say so, but then she wouldn't. But she misses John, you can see that. She adores him. I think she turned against him a bit once. I think she felt that he deserted her somehow.
John, is this Mr. Lovell?
That's right, Your Honour.
Oh, thank you. Yes?
And is Mr. Lovell a frequent visitor to the house?
Oh, yes, he comes regularly every week for Sandy. And he left some of his things in the flat, of course. Because he comes and collects them when he wants them. He hasn't got a place of his own yet. Not a place of his own.
Thank you, Mrs. Farrow. One last question. You say that you saw someone you thought to be my client, Miss Phillips, twice on the day the flat was broken into.
Yes, I did.
You saw her sitting in the car with Mr. Turner?
Yes.
Did you see her getting into the car?
No, she was already in.
So at that time you didn't see what she was wearing?
No.
But you saw her face quite clearly, did you?
Oh, yes.
And the second time you saw the person you took to be my client passing the house, did you see her face?
Well, not full on, because she was walking past.
I see. Did you notice then how she was dressed?
Yes, she had a macon raincoat, pale, I think it was, cream-coloured.
Did you ever see her in any other coat?
Well, she had one of those jackets, you know, I can't remember, brown sheepskin, I think.
Thank you, Mrs. Farrow.
I have no re-examination, Your Honour. That is the case for the prosecution.
Yes. Well, let us adjourn now for lunch and start again at 2:05.
All right.
The accused, Nadia Phillips, is about to give evidence. She's pleaded not guilty to wounding Alice Lovell and causing criminal damage to the flat in which Alice Lovell lives with Nadia's ex-fiancé, Bob Turner.
Is your full name Nadia Marina Phillips?
Yes.
And you live at 115 Grange Close, Fulchester?
Since I came out of hospital.
How long is that?
A year over.
And you were in hospital how long?
About 9 months altogether.
You went into hospital because you'd had a nervous breakdown.
Yes, I needed a complete rest.
Mr. Turner has told us that you had a breakdown because he was leaving you, is that right?
We were going to be married. I hit him with a bottle. He's told you.
Why did you hit him?
I just did, I don't know.
You must have had a reason for hitting him.
Well, because he was leaving.
Did that make you angry?
Yes, I was very angry.
You went into hospital. Did you have treatment there?
Yes, I had everything. Electric treatment, shock treatment, and therapy, group therapy, and lots of different kinds of drugs, pills.
And Mr. Turner came to see you while you were in hospital?
Yes, he came to see me.
Were you still angry with him?
No, there wasn't any point.
And then he stopped coming to see you?
Yes. He wrote to me sometimes.
He has told the court that he stopped coming to see you because he had met Alice Lovell. He told you that too?
Yes.
What did you say when he told you? Can you remember?
Nothing. I don't remember.
He has told us that you said you didn't want to see him again. Is that right? Is that what you said?
I don't know.
Were you very upset about Mrs. Lovell?
No.
Mr. Turner has said that you were very upset.
No, I wasn't.
What were your feelings towards Mr. Turner after he had told you?
Miss Phillips, you must try to answer the questions vocally for the transcript, not just nod or shake your head. Do you understand, Miss Phillips?
Yes.
Good. Yes.
Mr. Turner has told the court that when he told you about Mrs. Lovell, you said you didn't want to see him again. Is that true?
Yes, perhaps. Sorry, I don't remember very well.
When you came out of hospital, you did see him. He wrote to you, isn't that right?
Yes. He wrote to ask me for Christmas Day, so I telephoned.
You'd been in hospital a long time, hadn't you? How did you feel about meeting people?
It's a bit strange. At first, when you come out, you don't realize how protected you are. I couldn't wait to leave, but then when I had to, I didn't want to. Well, I did and I didn't.
Had you been out at all before you finally left?
Yes, once or twice, and for weekends. It's a bit frightening in a way.
But you weren't worried about spending Christmas Day with strangers?
He said it would be just us. I thought he meant just him and me. It was silly, really. I should have thought.
But if it had been just you and him, that would have been all right, would it?
Yes, I thought it would be nice.
When you arrived for lunch, was it just you and him?
No. Alice Lovell was there, and he left me there with her and went to get some other people.
How did you feel when he did that?
It was stupid. I wouldn't have gone.
Were you angry with him?
Wasn't angry exactly. Well, I was. I don't know. I don't remember. I felt a fool. It was stupid. I wanted to go back to Barham, but there weren't any buses.
When Mr. Turner went, did he leave you and Alice Lovell in the same room?
She talked at me through the hatch. She was in the kitchen.
Did you go into the kitchen?
Yes.
What for?
For some water. I'm supposed to take pills.
And did you take a pill?
2, yes.
And then what happened?
Well, she gave me some coffee and told me to do the sprouts. She was very nervous. She talked all the time. I thought it was rather funny she should have had one of my pills.
And then what happened?
Well, I didn't want to be there. I was just sitting there doing the sprouts, listening to the silly cow going on. I'd rather be at home, listening to the radio.
So what did you do?
Well, I said I was going. And she said I had to wait for Bobby. She was very upset, but I didn't want to wait. And she wouldn't let me pass the door. She said I had to wait for Bob to get back.
Had you been sitting at the table?
Yes. But I got up. I was going.
You'd been preparing vegetables?
Yes.
With a knife?
Yes.
And what did you do with the knife when you got up?
Nothing.
Did you put it down or not?
I don't know.
And was it still in your hand?
It might have been.
You were not aware of it?
No.
Did you pick it up or keep hold of it because you intended to attack Mrs. Lovell?
She was standing right in the door.
Was it your intention to use the knife on Mrs. Lovell or simply to get out past her?
I just wanted to get out. I didn't want to be there. I never wanted to be there.
And what did she do?
She grabbed me to stop me. She grabbed my wrists. She's very strong.
Was there a struggle?
I got away.
What did you do?
Home. I walked. There weren't any buses. I got a lift some of the way.
After that Christmas Day, you didn't see Mr. Turner for some time, did you?
No. He said it'd be better not to anymore. He was always saying that.
Was that because of what had happened between you and Mrs. Lovell?
He thought I tried to kill her. That made me angry.
And was that why you made those telephone calls?
Yes.
But you did see him again, didn't you, on April the 21st?
I only wanted to give him back some of his books I'd found.
And what happened at that meeting?
Nothing happened. He just talked.
What did he talk about?
Oh. He said I was being very selfish and that he'd done everything he could to help and that it couldn't go on. I don't remember. On and on. Then he said he had to get her daughter back, and so we left. I wanted to walk, but he made me have a lift to the bus stop.
And did you get a bus?
No, I wanted to walk.
Did you walk back past the house?
That's the opposite direction.
So you walked home?
Yes.
On your way, did you walk back past the house and enter the studio and empty honey and feathers everywhere and damage the paintings that were there?
No. I don't think so.
What?
Miss Kelman, does your client understand that she has pleaded not guilty to this charge?
I think she may have been confused by my question, Your Honor.
Well, I think we'd better be sure that she does understand. Miss Phillips, do you understand that you are charged with damaging the property of Mrs. Alice Lovell on April the 21st of last year?
Yes.
And you pleaded not guilty to this charge, did you not?
Yes.
And by that, what do you mean? I mean, do you mean that you did not enter the property and cause the damage that we've heard about? Or do you mean that you did do it, but it was not your fault? You know, that you were unaware of what you were doing? Oh, which do you mean? Did you do the damage or not?
No, I didn't.
And why did you say just now, I don't think so, when the counsel asked you the question?
I don't know. I don't remember doing it.
Your Honour, I'm afraid the court proceedings are something of a strain for my client, whose confidence is not robust.
Is she known to have had such lapses of memory in the past?
Not as far as I know, Your Honour.
Miss Phillips, have you forgotten things in the past, important things?
Not very important things. Don't think so. After the electric shock treatment, I sometimes couldn't remember things.
Have you had any difficulty in remembering things since you left the hospital?
No.
Are you in employment, Miss Phillips? Do you have a job?
Yes, I work for a veterinary surgeon.
Any problems at work with your memory?
No.
I see. Yes, very well. You'd better carry on, Miss Coleman.
Thank you, Your Honour. I have only one further question. Can you remember what you were wearing on April the 21st?
Yes, my jeans and my blue jacket.
Is it a light or dark blue?
Medium blue. It's sheepskin with embroidered bits. It's got darker.
Thank you, Miss Phillips. I have no further questions. Will you just wait there a moment?
Yes.
Miss Phillips, you were going to be married to Mr. Turner.
Yes.
So you must have had very strong feelings towards him, did you? Sometimes good, and perhaps sometimes, when he treated you badly, very bad feelings.
Yes.
Do you still?
No.
Well, it takes quite a long time to get over those sort of feelings, doesn't it?
Yes.
While you were in the hospital, Mr. Turner came to visit you quite often, didn't he?
At Fulchester he did, yes.
Were you pleased when he came?
Yes.
But you weren't engaged anymore. Did you begin to hope that things might work out between you?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Now, Miss Phillips, you've told us that when you learned in the hospital that Mr. Turner had gone to live with someone else, that you weren't upset. But perhaps that is one of the moments that you don't remember very well, because Mr. Turner has told the court that you were upset. So upset that you said that you didn't want to see him again. Perhaps you were so upset, so jealous, so angry, that it's painful for you to remember.
I don't know.
On Christmas Day, you arrived for lunch, expecting it to be just you and Mr. Turner, didn't you?
Yes.
But not only did you find that you were not going to be alone with Mr. Turner, but that Alice Lovell was there, the woman who'd taken your place. That must have been a terrible shock for you, no doubt.
No.
No? But when you left the hospital, you were given pills to take. What were they for?
To make me feel better.
Yes, but what were they? Were they some kind of tranquilizer?
They were these.
Yes, are those some kind of tranquilizer?
Yes.
Well, Miss Phillips, when you were left alone with Mrs. Lovell, almost the first thing you did was to take your pills. You must have been upset enough to need them.
I don't know.
Well, anybody would have been upset after what you've been through, to be confronted suddenly like that with your rival, and you'd spent almost a year in a very sheltered environment, protected, to use your own words. So you very wisely took your pills, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yes. And while you sat there, she went on talking at you, didn't she? And you wished you were at home.
Yes.
And when you wanted to leave, she was in your way, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yes, that was very annoying too, wasn't it?
Yes.
She was in your way in more than just the physical sense, Miss Phillips. You wanted her out of the way, and you tried to get rid of her by lashing out and attacking her with the knife that you found in your hand. Isn't that what happened?
Yes.
Oh, Your Honour, I think my learned friend must limit himself to one question at a time. I think my client is confused by these package questions, and her answers do not give a true picture.
Yes. Mr. Shermer, I think you had better take things in stages. Now, Miss Phillips, counsel has asked you if you tried to get rid of Mrs. Lovell by attacking her with a knife which you had in your hand. Do you understand the question?
Yes.
Yes. And how do you answer? Did you try to get rid of her by attacking her with the knife?
I just wanted to get out.
Yes. But did you attack her with the knife in order to get out?
No.
No.
Right. Carry on, Mr. Shermer.
Well, the fact remains that Mrs. Lovell did sustain an injury to her arm, quite a deep cut, in fact. Now, Mr. Turner and Mrs. Lovell have told us that during the months after Christmas, you made a number of telephone calls which were hostile and unpleasant. Do you deny it?
No.
You must have felt quite strongly towards them to go to so much trouble to hurt them, and yet you've said that you did not feel jealous or angry.
I was angry.
Now, were you angry enough to call out the fire brigade in the middle of the night?
Yes.
And when you came to 31A Genevieve Gardens on April the 21st, it was the first time you'd been in the flat since Christmas Day, wasn't it?
Yes.
It must have been very painful for you. Perhaps it reminded you of the time when you and Mr. Turner had been setting up a home.
It was a studio.
Did you see any of the portraits that Mrs. Lovell was working on?
Yes.
Did you recognize any of them?
There was one of Bob.
Do you think it was a good portrait?
No.
It wasn't the man you knew.
Wasn't like him.
Or was there any one of him with other people?
Yes.
And did you recognize them?
There was one of Alice Lovell and her daughter.
Are you able to have children, Miss Phillips?
No, I can't.
And Mr. Turner knew this?
Yes. I told him. He said we could adopt.
You and he were planning to have a family?
Yes.
Yes. Did you know that Mrs. Lovell was pregnant, that she was going to have a child by the man you loved?
I had known a long time. I saw her in the street.
Miss Phillips, whether you'd known for a long time or whether you found out that afternoon, I suggest that the reality of what you had lost only became clear to you as you stood there with Mr. Turner in his home, and that when he left you, you felt angry and excluded. I suggest that in anger, you returned to the studio to destroy what you could never have. Isn't that what happened? Do you have a light-colored raincoat, Miss Phillips?
No. Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Phillips. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
I have just one more question, Your Honor. Now, these pills that the doctor had given you to take, when do you normally take them?
3 times a day with meals. I have a different one at night.
And on Christmas Day, when did you take your first pill?
At breakfast, too.
So the next one would have to be taken at about lunchtime?
Yes.
At about the time you got to Genevieve Gardens, in fact, for Christmas lunch?
Yes.
And on April the 21st, when did you go to Genevieve Gardens?
About 2 o'clock later.
So you had already taken your pills?
Yes. I take 2 kinds.
Thank you, Miss Phillips. That's all. Does Your Honor have any questions?
No.
Dr. Anderson, is Miss Nadia Phillips a patient of yours?
Yes, she is.
How long has she been a patient?
For 15 months, since she was discharged from Barham Clinic.
She didn't continue to go to the clinic as an outpatient?
No.
Has she been having any other form of treatment, psychotherapy or analysis, for instance?
No, she hasn't.
Would you be aware if she were?
Oh, yes, as a GP, I should have been informed.
But further treatment was not considered necessary in her case.
She'd been in the clinic for a longish time. Her progress was slow to begin with, but overall they felt she made an excellent recovery.
Miss Phillips has told us that while she was in hospital, she underwent a form of electric shock treatment.
Yes, I believe so.
She has told us that this can cause loss of memory.
No. It doesn't seem to affect the memory in any permanent way. It can, in some cases, cause a certain forgetfulness. The patient may suffer a temporary inability to remember names, to recognize people and places and so on. But it's a short-term thing. It only lasts for a short period, no more than, say, 2 months. And it's very limited in its effect. I happen to believe it's very limited in its effectiveness. But that's another matter. It is still fashionable in some hospitals.
Yes. So that Miss Phillips' memory of what happened, what she did before and after leaving hospital, is not likely to have been impaired?
No, not by the treatment you're referring to, not by ECT.
ECT, that is
Electroconvulsive therapy. A shock treatment, if you like.
Yes, I see. Thank you.
I see. So, for instance, any fears Miss Phillips might have had about having committed an action and not been aware of it, or having committed it and then forgotten it, would have been groundless.
All I would say is that, in my opinion, ECT would not necessarily make her more vulnerable to memory loss.
I see. And what about the pills she was taking?
Well, she's on a course of antidepressant and tranquilizers.
These pills have opposite effects, don't they?
One calms you down, the other picks you up, as it were.
Is it unusual to take both types?
No, it's not unusual. It's becoming rather common, I'm afraid.
Generally, the pills would have what effect upon Miss Phillips' behaviour?
Well, we really know very little about the actual processes involved, but essentially, as far as we can judge, these drugs seem to act by reducing our response to stimuli which might disturb us. They act as a sort of screen, a sort of psychic umbrella, if you like.
So that quite apart from her hospital treatment, If Miss Phillips continued to take the drugs regularly that she was prescribed, she would be less likely to overreact to situations which she might have formerly found threatening or disturbing.
I would say so, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson.
Dr. Anderson, did you yourself see the accused on a fairly regular basis after her discharge from the hospital?
I saw her, I suppose, every few weeks to begin with, less frequently as time went on, as often as she needed to see me.
And when you did see her, how did she seem to you?
And she seemed to me to be making excellent progress.
Were you aware of Miss Phillips' connection with Mr. Turner?
No.
Was the man she was engaged to before her breakdown?
No.
Did she talk about her breakdown at all?
Not directly, no.
She didn't discuss her private life in any way?
No, she was rather reserved.
And probably you could only give her a limited amount of time.
I should have given her more time if I felt she needed it.
Yes, of course. Dr. Anderson, we've heard that during the period after the accused was discharged from the hospital, she took to hanging around the flat where Mr. Turner and his family lived and to making telephone calls at all hours of the night and day. Were you aware that she was carrying on in this way?
No, I wasn't.
How would you characterize such behavior as normal?
No, certainly not.
And how then?
Well, of course, one would really need to know a little more about the circumstances. There are times when to behave normally would be clearly an entirely inappropriate response. But clearly, what you're referring to is not normal behavior. Acceptable behavior, shall we say.
I see. And yet the accused was behaving in this abnormal way at the same
Your
time.
Honour, I must object to the use of the word abnormal, which goes far beyond what Dr. Anderson was saying.
Yes. Yes, I think Miss Coleman is right. In this context, the witness was suggesting no more than irregularity, not clinical abnormality.
Your Honour, the point I'm trying to make, Dr. Anderson, is simply that the accused is known to have been behaving in an odd way. Now, if you'd known about this behavior, would you have been satisfied to continue with the drugs alone, or might you have referred her back to the clinic or some other therapy?
I should need to know more about it, I'm afraid.
Am I right in thinking you don't always approve of the methods used at Barham?
Why do you say that?
You referred to their use of techniques as fashionable.
Yes, I was referring to the use of electroconvulsive therapy. It has its adherents, I know, and it certainly has been shown to be effective in the treatment of older patients, especially women, in extreme cases. Where there's little or no alternative, a case can be made out for ECT, but I'm not broadly speaking in favour of it, no.
You do not think it was called for in the accused's case?
It seemed an extreme remedy for such a very young woman. There are many resources open to her, and she has time on her side.
Possibly the clinic regarded her case as more severe than you did.
Yes?
If Miss Phillips had been on these drugs before her breakdown, would she have been less likely to have hit Mr. Turner over the head with a bottle of champagne?
I beg your pardon?
I'm referring to the events that led to her breakdown and why she went into the hospital.
I see.
You don't know about that?
I don't believe it was mentioned on the reports I've seen.
I see.
What reports have you had?
The reports from Barham tend to be not always of the fullest.
Yes, what did they tell you in this case?
There were chiefly details of a severe depression, of the various types of treatment, the patient's progress and so on.
See?
Was there nothing about her past history, her violence and so on?
Not that I recall.
Nor about the fact she'd been raped as a child?
Nothing.
If you'd known about her past history, would you have treated her differently?
I should have done, yes.
Are you saying that you would have felt that simply prescribing drugs was not adequate?
No, I'm not saying that.
How would your treatment have been different?
That's not a question I can answer without more information than I have at the moment.
I see. Thank you, Dr. Anderson.
May this witness be released, Your Honour. He has...
No, it's all right. I'm all right for a time. I think I'd like to stay.
Yes, of course. That is the case for the defence, Your Honour.
Members of the jury, the issue in relation to the first count, malicious wounding, is whether Mrs. Lovell's undoubted wound was caused deliberately by the accused or was accidental. The issue in relation to the second count, criminal damage, is whether it was the accused who created the havoc in Mrs. Lovell's flat. Those, broadly, are the issues. Now, remember the golden rule. Unless you are satisfied, so that you are sure that the accused committed these offences, then your verdict must be one of not guilty. Will you now retire Elect a foreman to speak for you on your return and consider your verdict.
Will the foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you are all agreed?
Yes.
On the first count, malicious wounding, do you find the accused guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
On the second count, criminal damage, do you find the accused guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
In my view, this was a prosecution which should never have been brought. Goodness knows the poor woman has been subjected to enough already. Anyone should have been able to recognize that she was not a criminal in the normal sense, and that the only appropriate course was to offer her help and care. Anyone should have been able to recognize that she was not a criminal in the normal sense, and that the only appropriate course was to offer her help and care. I shall make an order for the prosecution to pay the defense costs.